Welcome back to the 12th installment of the Talos Principle 2 blind playthrough. I am going into the Western Delta. We are officially in the West region. So this will be West 1. Short intro, let's play. Here's my progress down here, 29 hours, 26 minutes, 75% across the board minus the golden gates. But we will be getting to those soon. Maybe 3 or 4 episodes from now. Hopefully. I also don't want to accidentally end the game, so we'll see how that goes. Let's play. I can talk to Crier now. And Rand. Why don't we... Yeah, that's right. That's how I ended the last one like this. Why don't we talk to Crier first? Or Krieger. I don't know how to say his name.
What can I do for you, 1K?
You're like the off-brand Yakut with that green color you got there, bud. Sounds good. Thanks, babe. Do you think the goal is a myth?
As a journalist, I think the line between speculation and disinformation is too thin for me to engage in guessing games.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the theory of everything?
It's a complex issue, and I think it should be left to experts.
I don't like you. Tell me about yourself.
I believe that journalism serves an important function in our society, and I'm dedicated to reporting the truth with accountability and responsibility.
What does responsibility mean in the context of your work?
It means understanding that I can't just publish things without considering their impact. Serious disruptions to the social fabric of New Jerusalem could endanger lives. That's not journalism anymore.
It's fair, actually. That's all. Thanks, Crier. I'm calling you Crier. And Rand.
Greetings.
Yeah. Do you think the goal is a myth?
It's not hard-coded into us.
All right.
It may be a distraction from what really is.
What's your vision of our future?
A place where conflict and suffering don't happen, because its people have worked out how to live harmoniously.
Harmoniously, I love that word. What are your thoughts on the theory of everything?
I'm more of a classicist than a physicist, but I doubt infinite power in the physical realm will solve our conflicts in the spiritual one.
What do you make of the island?
I cannot deny that it has a certain allure.
Allure.
Puzzles are part of our programming, and what Athena has created here speaks to that part of ourselves. After all, what am I doing if not trying to solve a puzzle? The puzzle of human morality.
What can you tell me about Cornelius?
Cornelius founded the Museum of the Simulation and greatly encouraged the work of the archive scholars. He and Eustathius are the bedrock of scholarship in New Jerusalem. His entanglement with all this seems absurd to me.
That's all. He said Eustathius. Didn't I change it to Eustathius? Shit. No, I think I started calling him Eustathius. I don't even know anymore. First off. Right. Okay. Ow. The deer just ran right through me. One is right here. A lot of deer. Intrusive deer. 1, 2. I'm counting deer. This is called Servitor. What the fuck? Hold on. Oh, what is this? What is this thing called? Moving platform? I don't know what you'd call this. But I'm trying to serve something. This is like a platter of sorts almost, like I'm serving. What is my goal? Is to power... Well, first off, what's interesting is that I can jump here over the fence. And now I can get over. So we have 2. Alright. Okay. Let's just go see what our end goal is before we get into the weeds of this. Blue. But red powers it. Okay, but red powers it. The issue is that that thing moves, huh? Alright. I think we need to actually first get this to this side. Right? And get a blue connection here. Actually, that doesn't really help us, does it? Does that stay on there? Okay, that's interesting. I actually... Alright. Let's see if I can get through. I'm going to want to turn it off right when it's on top of that. And then that's when I can relay blue to the end, I think. Or technically I could do it now. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Oh, wait a second. Maybe it does kind of matter. Well, hold on. What's... When he steps on that, it... Hold on, let me just break down the logic. Ah, so it's now that I can... Can I see this? It's kind of tricky. Maybe I need to stop it right before? Or do I want to stop it then? And do we have a line of sight issue now? No, we're good. Okay. These will be some tricky puzzles. I don't know what these are called either. I love you too. What are those? What is that emoji? They just show up as like a white ball. They look like onions. I don't think you said you love me, onion.
Thinking about the goal and the theory of everything. Is the past what we thought it was? Is the future what we want it to be? But the only thing that's real at the end of the day is the present. And right now, what matters is that our friend is lost and needs our help.
This is true. Looks like we can chat with somebody. I'll save that. Want to keep solving the puzzles. I gotta check for hidden switches. Nope. Supportive apparatus. We have a red emitter. Now, this is very tricky with this mobile platform. I don't know what to call that. Again, it's one of these things where they didn't really give us a name. But red is the end goal. Perhaps maybe with some height here. We also have a window. We'll see how that goes. Let's just first off get through and look around a little bit. Oh, okay. So red opens this up, and you'll probably want to do a double connection of some sort. A lot of short fences. Something to keep note of here. That can't be seen, can it? I can't get hit. I think that hits the fence. Yeah. They don't give us any other object, eh? All we have is this connector. We do have an angle here to hit a lot of things. Maybe we can, like I said, make the pre-connection, have it start, and then I can just jump off of this once it's outside. Now we're moving the puzzle along. So right now, interesting, I like that. This gives us another object. Now you have to wonder if you want it to stay up there. That's why this fence is short. That's definitely, I think, the key. Another aspect of this is actually... Let's swap this for now. I'm thinking... well, no. For one, that can't work. But I'm thinking maybe... Did I perhaps stop it too early? That's okay. I want to get it like here. Let's deselect all. I wanted to see if this to this is enough. It is. Awesome. Okay, we got all the objects in play now. If I use this angled window, I don't know. It does seem like if it were to sit right here, it can still see that guy. Let's do some magic here. I want to shut it off right here. I want to shut it off right there. Is that enough? Or maybe I'll need a box. I might need a box. Let's just see if this is enough. Okay, why don't we include the hexahedron? And this might give us enough height. Could it be? Why don't we get as close to the fence as we can? Perfect. I like that. I'm curious if other people have solved it differently. I don't know. No, I did use this window. What am I talking about? For one, I have to sneeze. Thank you. I wanted to make note of something as I heard this. Who played Gehenna? Who ascended the prisoners at the end? When they're all standing there like this? It's giving me those Gehenna vibes. This was a cool puzzle. I like the aspect of this floating platform that needs a beam to send it. I don't know what you call that. I'm going to call it a mobile platform. Is that a fair name? It's a hand heart. Yeah, no, that didn't... On OBS, it didn't show up like that. I'm sure it showed up in chat on the screen. I have to check that out. What do you call these, babe? What would you call this? This have you seen how this technology works? Maybe I call it a supportive apparatus. No. Let's check out social media. The goal megathread. I recognize that many citizens feel the need to discuss the visions experienced by 1K, which suggests that perhaps certain aspects of what we have hitherto. I don't know how to say that, to be honest with you. Why does this happen? There we go. Hitherto believed about the founder, and the goal may be inaccurate. However, given the controversy surrounding the subject matter, I will ask everyone to be particularly careful in how they express themselves. I think we have a final and irrevocable proof that we've stayed from Athena's original vision. I agree, but I'd like to submit that even if that weren't the case, deliberately engineering an energy-poor future would still be a disastrous and misanthropic idea. How do we know any of this is real? Athena's voice is just Alexander Drenan's. I knew that. We knew that. But this is interesting that they are saying that. I could switch to the same voice back right now and record myself telling you that the goal is the truth. Of course, I know his name's not Ovies, but I like, Ovechkin, so I'm going to call him Ovies. Ovies makes a good point. Objective truth is not a concept that can be applied to the world we live in. Fine. Then we can just collectively decide to believe in something else, right? It doesn't even have to be Athena. Let's just believe in Byron's ideas instead. Byron's ideas are a teleological fantasy, but if it's all arbitrary, what does that matter? I'm not sure what to believe anymore. I don't think I can support Byron, but I'm not sure I believe that the goal is real anymore either. Does it matter what Athena believes? Honest question. Let's say the founder is a myth that was constructed around her. In that scenario, what do we owe Athena at the end of the day? Why? Why does this happen? Mini's kind of weird on console. I don't know. I really don't know what What do we owe Athena? I don't know. All this shit is so confusing to me that I genuinely don't know. Let's just say gratitude. I agree, so do I. Same. She'll always have that no matter what happens. Or none of this matters because it's actually aliens. Jacquez! 420. That can't be an accident. Anyway, let's all head on over to 3 now. We're doing pretty good so far. So far. Automatic doors. Automatic doors. This seems to be the obvious first choice. It opens the door. I think I'm getting ahead of myself a bit, but I'd like to just see this in action. Right. Why don't we actually stop this and break down the logic here? Because I think this is going to be like one of those, possibly like when you have a connection here and you have a connection here, but it only activates when you are in line of sight. Because we do need blue. This guy certainly can't do that unless, no, we create red via the inverter. So the inverter, yeah, and it's going to need to go to that side too. So let's think about the logic of how we can get this to move and only activate side to side. At least that's the first idea. Automatic doors. But it's going to get me through one, and then the other one should get me through the other potentially. We know that we're going to want this to open that door to swing side by side. Now, if we do this and this, that opens the door. If I connect this to this, it'll move. However, that doesn't get us to red yet. What happens if we add one more connection here? No issues yet. What if we added one more here and just see how this behaves? All right. Let's add one more connection and see if the logic checks out or not. You know what? I did. Is it moving? I think we nailed it. I think that's exactly the logic they intended to have. Yeah, we've seen this in play many times in Talos. Actually, I think in the northern region we saw it, perhaps, but we definitely saw it in Talos 1. I love this. Actually, the first time I saw this, I think, was in the Swapper in Gehenna, and I found it like a cheese. It was parkour cheese. But I ended up going back and doing it properly because I felt wrong about it. Why don't we catch up with Yakut real quick? Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Whoa.
Can we talk for a second?
Why did I grow into a giant? I must have glitched onto like that wood behind me. Of course.
I'm still struggling. I was really
I'm just like,
hoping we'd find Miranda alive.
sup, Yakut?
Her way of seeing the world was so inspiring. And the idea that I can never get to know her, that she's gone.
I'm sorry, bud.
I guess I've never really been good at dealing with death. Maybe because it's so rare in New Jerusalem. Except for pets, and even in that case, I find it very hard to deal with. I still miss my first cat, and it's been over a century since she died.
Death is difficult to deal with.
When someone dies, it's this void. I know I should just let it go, but some part of me refuses. And I feel like that part, it hurts me. but it also keeps me human. And I know it would be healthier if I said, okay, Miranda is someone I never met. She's just a bunch of glitchy old files. But if I do that, as rational as it seems, it feels like I'm surrendering something. Something that matters.
Then don't let go. Use the pain as a foundation to build something. You can let go of the pain, but still care about the person. You have to let go. This doesn't help anybody. You have to let go. You're still alive. Yeah, I don't think there is such thing as letting go of the pain, to be honest with you. So then don't let go. Use the pain as a foundation to build something.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of pain as something you can use.
Certainly.
If I can take
Taylor
the
Swift
pain
albums, bro.
and use it to create something or to do something, maybe that's a way of not surrendering to death. Thanks, 1K. I'm really gonna think about that.
I'm glad I could assist, buddy. You're welcome, but I wanted to ask you about something else. Do we have more to talk about?
Go ahead.
Why don't we just go through his dialogue? What do you think about Mayor Hermanowitz?
I don't agree with his belief in the founder. Not anymore. I think the vision Prometheus sent you was true. I think she's just a human being who made mistakes and paid for them. She deserves our help, but not our belief.
Do you ever think about your future? I want to ask about Bruce last.
Honestly, all I want is to find Byron and Athena and go back home and put my feet up for 200 years. There's something to be said for living quietly.
You know, Yaku, you and I have a an up and down relationship, but I like you overall, bud. I think you're a cool guy. Do you think the goal is just a myth?
It is, yes. That doesn't mean that the idea itself isn't valid, though.
Now that you've solved the puzzle, would you like to try another one?
Nope, but at least I finally understand why Athena wanted to get out of the simulation so badly.
You're telling me, bud. Hey, tell me something irrelevant.
In the ancient year 1969, a band called Mellow Macaron wrote a psychedelic rock song about the Talos principle. It's called Cretan Bronze Man's Flying Mystery Adventure.
Nice.
I don't know if it's nice, but it's definitely the most understandable song on the album. There's another one which is called The Fish People Will Teach You How to Sing, Mr. Allen, which is 20 minutes long.
They were tripping.
And was recorded underwater.
I'm going to have to review this section of the video, and I want to look this up. Is it any good?
I think you need psychedelics to enjoy it, really.
Like I said, they were tripping.
Maybe if you stick your head inside a really large magnet.
Right, yeah. How's Bruce?
I hear he escaped Pellegrino and peed all over Melville's workshop. So apparently, he's doing great. I miss him, though. I always feel like the fact that he likes me is a huge compliment. Lifts me up somehow.
For sure, man. We'll be back. We'll be back home soon. Founder willing. That's all. Good chatting with you, buddy. This was a good puzzle. I like that puzzle a lot. Let's go on over to 4. We have a audio log. People just chilling, staring off at Prometheus's. I think that's is that Melville?
You know, when I decided that we should call ourselves human, I did that because it seemed like a powerful symbol of our continuity. But the truth is, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I thought we were better than them. I thought we understood the value of civilization, and we wouldn't repeat the same mistakes. But the simulation worked too well.
We're not just like them. We are them.
We really are.
But that doesn't have to be a bad thing, Athena.
We may have the same flaws, but we also have all the potential they did. Everything that Alexandra Drennan saw in them is also in us.
I hope you're right. I really do.
Interesting. For one, whoever that is, I think it might be Melville. We're gonna chat with him a bit later. I think after this puzzle, I'll go and do Lost Lab. And one other thing to note is Prometheus's star, which is just gonna be follow a sprite. So I mean, that almost guarantees like at least one here. Surfing. I'm really liking the smaller form factor for puzzles here. Also really cool that you can just jump right on these without needing a box. I guess it's almost box height. 1K is getting a little bit better at jumping at this point. What does this do? Activate the fan? It activates the fan. We have a red, and then we have a red. We might want to move this to the middle so that it can see this. And then what would that give me? A hexahedron. Big ass room for just a hexahedron. Seems like once you get that, that's all you need. And then you enter... we have a bit more fun to play with. Why don't we start with that? Let's move this to the middle. Right about there. We will throw this. Hexahedron. Surfing. What are we going to be surfing about? I'm thinking we need to move this maybe a bit more now. Hopefully. I'm just putting it on the hexahedron for the hell of it. I may have missed my chance. I don't know though. I'm just curious. I guess maybe I can actually just possibly... Can this be seen? Yeah. Okay, so we don't actually need to use... Damn it. The platform. I don't want to call this a platform. This mobile floating platform. I wish I had a better name for it, to be honest with you. Another interesting instance where we have... I want to test a theory. No, you're not going to be able to see... It doesn't... No, the white path is what it'll do. Well, we have a fan, for one. We have a fan that we need to utilize. Why? Okay. Alright, so I think the idea is going to be getting emitter to emitter. But we are going to need the box. So we have to figure out a way to open that door as well. However, we have another connector, right? We have two connectors. So maybe it's as simple as getting this up in the air on a hexahedron, hitting this, hitting that, and then we can use this to relay here. But we're going to want to remove this first. So why don't we just break everything apart? Wait, it's still going. Right, it's still going. That makes sense. Let's break everything we have, and let's just move this off of this for now. Right? Why is it still going? What does this do then? Hold on. Am I confused? It would appear that way. I must be confused. I'm not sure entirely what this is powering. I mean, yeah, it's clear it goes to the door. but it's not as if... Is that by design? Or have you been on the whole time? Yeah, color me a little bit confused. Hold on. Are you saying that that door can't be powered if it's... Oh, so I had just happened to get lucky because... Okay, that changes things a bit. Yeah, that changes things a little bit here. I didn't realize the full scope of what was actually happening. Okay. So now I need to rethink this a little bit. I think the idea is still the same, but we suffer an issue of how do you get... Huh. How do you get... We gotta play with this one a little bit, for sure. What I'm struggling to understand is how are we going to get, let's say, right, we can't just float that guy. I truly just want to drop it, and I can grab it from here. Does that help me? Oh. No. Well, I need to test something. That's why that doesn't work. But do I need it to work like that? Let's just test something. Here's what I want to try. I think well, that's interesting. I'm going to remove this from the equation, but I'm going to certainly note that can occur. Uh-huh. Wow, you're a tricky son of a bitch. I think I see one way to do it. I'm going to try my initial thought. I looked into that idea, huh? Let's do this. I just want to see the logic if it checks out. All right, we should be pressure plating that. I think it'll be an angle issue. They probably thought about this. And if I scoot this any more over, we are out of range. So yeah, they thought about that. So there goes that theory. However, we just learned something very cool. Kind of on accident. Pretty much on accident. Let's just call it what it is. So we'd want to set this up in a manner. We want to be precise in how we do this. Right, I don't want it to go on the fan yet. I'm thinking that I need to be the one to perhaps... Exactly. So we're going to go blue to blue. And this does get pretty high. I don't know if it can see over this bar, but for the hell of it, I'm just going to put it there. Uh-oh. Let's deselect that. Connects. All right. And now with this guy, I'm going to continue the path. Now it's up in the air. It does not see this. Do we have a... Yes. Maybe I don't need it on the box. Maybe the box is meant to push this, and then I could just hit blue to blue. That would resolve this, right? It doesn't seem like that's actually... I don't need the box with it. Alright, but we are going to have to redo its cycle. I think that should alleviate it. Oh, I could have done that. And that's fine, because I actually want to deselect this because I hate inefficiencies. What just happened? When did you come involved, buddy? Just connect. That's all I want. It's going to go in the air. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put this here. And I think we are... I'm not sure why that keeps happening, to be honest. Yeah, it's because I missed the shot. Never mind. Now we're done? Cool. That's a good puzzle. I'm glad I kind of was experimenting and saw, boom, it get taken up. That's really smart. I didn't even think that that could occur.
Tell me, Yakut, what impact do you think the
why
megastructure
not?
will have on the future of this island?
If it stays out of control like it is now, then what happened to Miranda could happen again.
I love you too, babe.
But on a
Good night.
much bigger scale. I'm not sure the ecosystem could recover from that. At least, not for a very long time, even by our standards.
A frightening thought.
Very green in here. You have another idea for this puzzle, the one I just solved? Let me finish this Lost Lab and we'll do it after. Yeah. You do need both. That's what actually stumped me for a second, because I had happened to stop that mobile platform thing on it and then shot the receiver, and I didn't realize that it was doing both. I mean, it does show you the electrical circuit path, like, hey, this is doing this, but it just didn't make sense to me at the time. I think I saw 2 paths. What is that? Is this showing us the Prometheus spirit? The sprite, I mean? Okay. Well, I have that. I have... Did I come in through here? No, now I'm confused. Damn, we have a lot of terminals in here. Let's start in the data center area. From Thecla and Athena history. Oh, Thecla, you bitch. Excuse my language, bitch. From Thecla, beloved founder. Know that I do not believe any of the lies the expedition is spreading about you. Is right. This Prometheus illusion is just a test. We will resist temptation as you once did. We will not disappoint. Praise your name, Thecla. Athena history. This is author error. The History of Athena was first published as Athena, a novel, and retained that title for its first 3 printings, now highly sought after. After a lull in popularity, it was reprinted as Athena Reborn, a novel. This edition retained the same text, but included some of the author's poetry. The next edition, however, published long after the author's death, under the rather embarrassing title Athena's Truth, included severe cuts and drastic changes to the text in the interest of updating it for modern audiences. This particularly affected the last chapter, Anthropogony, or Anthropogeny, not sure, which the editors accused of scientism and human supremacy. Science Wonderkind, the Wonderkind, Ryan, Alexandra Drennan, and Wonderkind. Actually, I'm thinking of Ted Lasso. Spits on the mirror. If you get that reference, I don't know, say something about it. Few to come to the novel's defense, writing in a long essay that the novel's clear-eyed belief in the value of Athena's journey towards humanity had been essential to shaping her own views. encouraging her to pursue science as a vocation rather than a career, and that changing the text constituted an attack on the author's unique artistic and philosophical vision. Alex, who hurt you? LMAO, one of the editors, commented on a popular social media platform. Nadia Serabay of the Institute for Applied Pneumatics also got involved in the discussion, backing Drennan, resulting in a long but unsuccessful campaign to oust Serabay from her position as head researcher. Lots of hexadecimal values. In the current context of ecological catastrophe, as evidenced by the recent extinction of the orangutan, which I was saying orangutan, isn't that orangutan? Has there never been a G on the word orangutan? Because when you look up orangutan, it shows you what I'm thinking of. So I don't fucking know if I've been saying it wrong, if the G is silent, or I'm just a dang dingus. I'm gonna go with that one. Clumsy editing aside, do the critics of the novel perhaps have a point after all? Is a philosophy that places humans above nature and sees science and technology as the only valid tools the cause of all our troubles? What about other ways of knowing, other ways of living? I think we have 2 more terminals. What is this? Some sort of structure. Kind of reminds me of the northern region. I came in from here. Let's read this one. Chernyshevsky from Guta and Noema Project 11. This is from Arkady Chernyshevsky from Arkady Chernyshevsky in Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. War is the crudest, most obscene human activity. It may justly be called an abomination, for it is the absolute negation of conscious human will. 5358. There is only a single cause of war for all the endless deceptions that are foisted upon us, and that is the acquisition of resources. Varied ideologies are constructed to justify this crude behavior, this childish degeneration of thought and communication. But history reveals the ruthless, unflattering truth. We imagine crusaders as fanatics of a cause, willing to die for their religion. Yet the Fourth Crusade culminated not in the conquest of Jerusalem, but in the looting of Constantinople. Which is why the joke earlier, Constantinople, I didn't know what the fuck it was saying, but I thought it had something to do with this. Makes sense. Setting the stage for the triumph of the very enemy the Crusaders claim to oppose. Why? The answer, as with every war, is the same. It is popular amongst the ghouls of the establishment and their misanthropic friends in the intelligentsia to ascribe the persistence of war to human nature, but a careful observation of the facts reveals the opposite to be true. Individual human beings must be broken in order to submit to war, their minds distorted by ideology and their bodies by poverty and ruthless training to make them compliant. Without force, the majority of human beings only seek to protect themselves and are traumatized by the act of killing. But if it is resources that are the core cause of war, then it is only in the production and distribution of resources that an answer may be found. It is not enough to morally condemn war. We must work to prevent the material issues that endanger us all. From Guta to Athena, dear founder, I'm afraid that we are losing our humanity. We are angry at each other, always disagreeing about everything, unable to forgive each other for being different. I don't know how much longer, and I don't know what could save us. Please help us, founder. Please. Guta. Failed to load profile. Eustachius? Trial 5359, resuming trials with new protocols. Energy output contained, no errors. Trials 5360 through 6397, hyperbolic growth. Trials 6398 through 7000, advanced synthesis. Advanced synthesis. We have one more here. What's this one? Interesting location. From Byron, message to Drennan, Stratton on Socrates. From Byron. Author Byron, to Athena. I just wish I knew why you didn't tell me. Yeah, I hear you. Message to Drennan. From hexadecimal string to Alexandra Drennan at Ian. Who do you think you are playing God like that? Oh, author unknown, okay. When Mother Nature has finally found a way of getting rid of us, you come up with this harebrained scheme to keep our destruction of the planet going. Just try for 1 second to think about something other than your own arrogance and hubris, Alexandra. Try to imagine what you're really doing here. Without your robotic perversions, the future looks beautiful. No more humans murdering everything in their path. The skies clear up, the stars become visible again. The rivers stop being filthy, and after a few decades they are full of fish again. Dolphins and whales roam the seas like their ancestors did. The cities turn into jungles, bats nest in the skyscrapers where hedge fund managers used to ruin lives. Did they mean where? I'm seeing spelling errors every now and then. The earth lives on as it meant to, peacefully and quietly, until some day in the distant future when it all ends, like it was also meant to. Or we take our path. We continue our rampage. We place ourselves above the animals. We think we know better than Mother Nature. We violate all boundaries. We ruin all purity. Perhaps we even defy death, just so we can keep spreading our filth. Then we spread to other planets to do more of the same. And in the end, what have we left behind but plastic and radiation? Think, Alexandra. Isn't it better for beauty to return to the Earth? For us to acknowledge that intelligence was a mistake and to gracefully exit while we can? Stop this. Go spend time with your friends and loved ones before the end. Let it go. Let us all go. Let there be peace. Miranda writes, I don't understand how someone could hate humanity so much. This person must have been full of sadness and frustration to write something so ugly. Athena wrote, I've tried to understand it as well, but I still don't. Straton on Socrates. The author is Stratons of Stagira. Against the Athenians and Socrates alike. From the complete works of Straton of Stagira. And killing a philosopher for asking questions they did not like, the Athenians committed themselves to a tragedy with an ironic ending. Some will say that his true crime was his friendship with Alcibiades, I don't know, the shameless deceiver of idiots and buffoons in the insipid brute Critias, and that he was executed as an enemy of democracy. That he was the latter can hardly be denied, for Socrates asked not too many questions, but too few. Or he would not have survived the rule of the 30 tyrants. Yet in the end, he got what he had asked for, a tyrannical decision made by would-be wise men against the spirit of freedom, which he obeyed like a knave. And the Athenians, in fulfilling his wishes, strangled the roots of democracy while seeking to preserve it. Miranda wrote, ouch, no wonder Straton was unpopular. Athena, people who speak the truth at all times rarely are. That's a very good point. Okay. Lost lab down. Let's get out of here. Babe, are you still awake? Want to test out your idea? If I can find my way out. I love this green. Alright, I don't know if you're still there, baby, so I'm going to move on to 5. That's Hermanubis, actually. I don't want to talk to you right now, buddy. Sorry. I just don't. I did a lot of reading. We need to get some puzzles. We gotta accomplish some more puzzles. I see 6, I see another audio reading, and I see another person down there. Another terminal. Why don't we do this? Audio log? From Urania, Atlas 1, and Wild Fragment. From Urania to Athena. Athena, I know that we didn't have the greatest relationship, and I frequently antagonized you. The truth is I resented this mythology of the founder. I thought you had created it deliberately, as a way of controlling us. I wanted so badly to be free, and you seemed to stand in the way of that. Only after you left and the cult of personality grew even wilder did I realize it was actually a burden and an impediment to you. When they turned your myth into the opposite of everything you actually believed, started tearing down your dreams in your own name, I realized I'd wronged you. I wronged you. And now I'm less free than ever. I feel the walls crushing me. I don't know where you are or what you are doing. I don't know if coming back would fix things, but I'm sorry. Urania 342. Atlas 1. Author Athenius. Fuck. From the Atlas Variations by Athanasios. Or that's like Shish. Athanasius? I don't fucking know, dude. To be honest with you, I'm butchering that one. After a billion years, when Atlas had grown old and tired of holding up the world, he was faced with a dilemma. Heracles, the son of Zeus, was on his way to the garden of the Hesperides to claim the golden apples, which were guarded by the dragon Ladon. Zeus came to Atlas and promised that if Atlas helped Heracles, I don't think it's Hercules, by the way. Heracles? I don't know, dude. Slay the dragon, Zeus would free Atlas from his burden, but Atlas, seeing the beauty of and innocence of Ladon, or Ladon, beloved of the Hesperides, or Hesperides, could not slay the beast. Instead, he stole the apples and gave them to Heracles. And so he was condemned to bear the weight of the cosmos for another billion years. But though Atlas grieved for his freedom, he was comforted by watching Ladon flourish in the Verdant Garden. We've been at somewhere called Verdant. Author Oscar Wilde. Joy and beauty from the soul of man. Sympathy with pain there will, of course, always be. It is one of the first instincts of man. Where'd the music go? It was weird as hell. It is one of the first instincts of man, the animals which are individual. The higher animals, that is to say, share it with us. But it must be remembered that while sympathy with joy intensifies the sum of joy in the world, sympathy with pain does not really diminish the amount of pain. It may make man better able to endure evil, but the evil remains. Sympathy with consumption does not cure consumption. That is what science does. Christ made no attempt to reconstruct society, and consequently, the individualism that he preached to man could be realized only through pain or in solitude. The ideals that we owe to Christ are the ideals of the man who abandons society entirely, or of the man who resists society absolutely. But man is naturally social. Even the Thebaid, became peopled at last. And though the Cenobite realizes his personality, it is often an impoverished personality that he so realizes. Shallow speakers and shallow thinkers in pulpits and on platforms often talk about the world's worship of pleasure and whine against it. But it is rarely in the world's history that its ideal has been one of joy and beauty. Athena wrote, "When you tell people that a society can be built on the ideals of joy and beauty, they think you are a utopian fantasist. If you tell them society will always be built on exploitation and greed, they think you are wise, and so they make the outcome inevitable." Cornelius wrote, "Performative cynicism has always been the hallmark of adolescence." Athena, "But has there ever been a society of adults? Can there ever be one? Why is this childishness, why is that such a fucking hard thing for me to say? Childishness, so extremely powerful, more powerful than joy and beauty?" Oh, I'm done reading. There's good stuff in there. Wow, this ground looks really good. I want to solve puzzles. I am 1K puzzle solver. Gonna lay down and get some sleep. My idea was to have the hex and the connector up on the thing like you had it before, but have the second connector on the pressure plate powering the receiver. Yeah, actually, that will no, because I think that the issue was there was not line of sight with the connector on the pressure plate. I either tried that or I ruled it out in my head. I can't remember which one what it was, but there was no line of sight between the pressure plate and the receiver for that door that you needed a dual authentication for, if you will. Okay, number 5. That was a large amount of time just talking and reading. Nuisance. I'll probably skip the rest of the terminals until the end so that I can just try to knock out more puzzle. This is called Nuisance, and we start off with really not much. Wow, the ending is here, but we have to come around this side. It can't see it from there. I tried that. The one in the air on that door also didn't have line of sight. It would hit the fence. I really think there was only one way to solve that. I tried both ways I just described to you. You're gonna watch back the VOD after. I'll show you. Yeah, no worries. So this is called nuisance. Interesting corner. That'll fly us to the end. So we need a red connection here. But it looks like it, as Akanar said, is a diode. But we have like a switch almost. It switches between circuits. And there seems to be just a spot here for it. There's no like independency we can create here. Now, I don't see the real reason for this yet. Except if we like backed it up, that would cut off the circuit and allow this to actually switch. And then we would go over. Is that really it? I don't think so. Is there still line of sight if I just back this up a little bit? Right? This guy will cause a nuisance. Let's see if that works. There you go. Alright. Pretty simple one. With all the reading, I need to knock these out a little fast. No, I'm totally joking, but it is nice to kind of catch up on time a bit. That's a cool puzzle. Let's go snag this audio log. Those I'm totally fine with. Who do we have? What do we got here?
Father, what is my purpose? Do I have a purpose? Mother says purpose is something we choose. But I feel like there's something there. Something that's been there from the moment I was born. Maybe even before.
Well, there are many ways of looking at this, and everyone's experience is different, so you'll have to make up your own mind. But I have a little theory, if you'd like to humor your old man.
Of course. What is it?
The universe is eternal, but it's always lost in a deep, dreamless sleep. You are a tiny little bit of the universe that's suddenly woken up, and you've realized that being awake is better than being asleep. And that gives you a purpose.
And what is my purpose?
To be, Miranda. Just to be.
I like that. So this is called elements, and here is our goal, a blue connection or a jammer, but I don't think I see a jammer in here. Therefore, we are gonna want blue. How can we get blue here? For a bit there, I didn't see that, but that allows that to move. Red allows that to move. We can only do it within this purple wall, which is no problem. We can still shoot this, and the beam should stay connected. I'm curious to learn the paths. Now, we're going to want blue over here in the air. Maybe with the connector on top of that, it'll be enough. Or... Because truthfully, I don't think it'll be enough even with one little platform and a connector. I think we're going to be doing what is like a hexahedron stack, but with these floating platforms. I think we're going to go red, blue, connector. Now, it's a matter of figuring that out, if that's truly the solution here. And if that's the case, I'm going to want red to come first. And a part of my theory is learning what is the path. Does he turn? He does turn. Actually, I think I did this in the wrong order. I would want blue first. Yeah, shit. All good. All good. We're learning. I truly think that is the puzzle. I do declare. Let's just get a pre-connection going here and here. I'll hide this over here so we can't do anything. We'll leave you here. Let's get this guy going. In fact, I could just turn this on. I hope that that's the theory that I have. And once it's in the air, it's going to stay in the air. And then I'm... Oh, wait. Stop. Stop. Now we're good. Oh, interesting. So we're actually going to need to... Because it can't shoot itself from on top. That's interesting. We'll have to borrow this. Nope. You are not a part of this. That should keep it going. Now we can remove this. And like I said, not enough. So I think we're gonna need. There's only other thing in this puzzle is this. So I can just send you up, and at this stage, the puzzle should be complete once this goes in the air. But I want to see how this works. Oh, look at that! The sprite is up there. What the hell? Yeah, that's exactly it. So we have this dual, almost hexahedron setup going. That's awesome. These don't seem that hard. They seem pretty intuitive if you're able to think on that level. It's not like a crazy level.
Excuse me. I was looking at your research log, and I was rather perplexed by the latest upload.
Oh, Melville strikes again.
Is that your foot, Melville?
Yes. Do you want to see it up close? Although you won't be able to fully enjoy it as you don't have a rear camera.
Sorry, Mayor. Melville just has a unique way of taking pictures.
Next time you're getting an upgrade, you coot. I'm installing a mute button.
Okay. Milestones. These things must be connected to the Noema system. Maybe I should dig one up, see how it works. I think I agree with that. I don't know what the relevance of these pictures are, though, like from her eyes. I mean, it's cool. I do have 2 more researchers that I should look at. Alcatraz on sincerity. I managed to extract the following text string. More reading. I'm always struck by the degree to which our ancestors in the years before the end struggled with sincerity. They became poisoned with irony, unable to parse any information through anything except a thick layer of alienation. This left so little space for any kind of intellectual authenticity that they seemed to exist in a state of permanent agony. Ironically, that in turn made them extremely susceptible to a few sanctioned forms of sincerity, which acted as means of social control. Then there's a gap, followed by, there's something equally damaged in our own estrangement from our humanity. We mimic the forms and behaviors of our human ancestors, but we don't act like proud inheritors of the human condition. Everything we do gets filtered through this perpetual awareness of their shortcomings, to the degree that we act as if our existence was one of their failures. Author unknown. Whoever it is, I understand what they mean, but disagree with their conclusion. This perpetual awareness isn't a form of alienation. It's a way of learning from the mistakes of our species. Excuse me. Unpleasant, but unnecessary. And then we have Yakut bootstrapping. If what Prometheus revealed about the theory of everything is true, then it explains a lot of the patterns I've been finding. Almost every artificial structure on this island was printed into existence in some kind of energy to matter process, or maybe by different versions of that process, some earlier and less effective. I love the megastructure, it's super cool. Alright, so 6 of 8 main puzzles. Still got 2 more lost puzzles. Now, first theory is see if I can climb that on the back. However, I think I need to actually end up being on that platform when this occurs, which I think is simple enough. Let's just see. Can I run this? No. So, and hopefully it's enough for me to jump. What worries me about doing these early is if it goes into another puzzle, it doesn't really matter. I got the achievement for doing it fast enough. So I'm gonna want to break this. All right. I have to think about the process because I want. That's fine. This is going to play bumper cars until red is ready. But I think I need to be in the air first to get on this thing. Let's go really wide. It should avoid any issues. Alright. They're acting like buzzbots. Oh man, what if these are like the new buzzbots? Right, we haven't seen buzzbots or boombots in this entire game. Now that I actually think about it, I kind of miss them. Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, I'm glad we got that set up. Will these be like the new? I mean, that one of them was called Nuisance. I don't know if it was. No, that one was called Elements. But one of them was called Nuisance. I wonder if they're going to try to work those into being like those buzzbots. Well, we'll talk later. Who is this? No? We're going to save all the dialogue for later. I've done a lot of talking. Hopefully... or readings. Hopefully that is like the bulk of them. Don't tell me you're gonna go up there. Come back down. Ah, you rat bastard. Are you serious, bro? Are we really gonna be running? Maybe I can hop on right here? I think that is the case. We just need to make this jump. These are fun. Ah, the music's off. Resume. What path are you taking? Yeah, I mean, it's right there. So shouldn't you just go to it? Nice. Give me my star. Speak. Awesome.
Great works have been accomplished by those who believed in humankind. But greater things than these may yet be accomplished by those who uphold the faith.
Oh, I was on 6. Right. This was 6. Wasn't it? Okay, there it is. I was like, what the hell is it? 7 is this way. Hermanubis, I don't want to talk to you. Sorry. 7. This is cool looking. Breach. We have a single rogue connector. Breach. This is going to be interesting to handle. What do we have back here? All of that does is give us access to red. Okay. Very big area. For a lot of angles. Ooh, I see one of my favorite technologies in this game, the accumulator. I love it. The mobile emitter. Another connector. And then we have a pretty strict angle here. if I were to do this, this would give us the blue connections we need to get through here. This gives us access to this. This is red, however. We are going to need to ride this into there in order to get to the ending. To open this door, however, we need blue. To open that, we need red. Oh, that's a little tricky. But does it need to be? Perhaps I can... Hold on, wait. What does this red do? Now that I think of it, hold on. I think they might do the same job. Why don't we test that? Oh no, you need both. But so if that, all right, hold on. Let's just think about what we have here. I think I can ditch this. What did that open? Nothing. But the issue is that I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. Maybe, actually. Because if I pick this up, we're toast. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, this is a good one. Right off the bat, this is definitely a good one. I'm still a little confused, so I know there's only one way to get red through the circuitry here, through the network. It's through that road, at least on the surface. What if instead we said maybe perhaps we wanted that to be red, right? What if we said that and we put blue through the circuit now? That way we don't need red via that. That way we don't need a pressure plate. This is the tough part as well. We have to think about the logic here. That pretty much, one of these two has to stay in that realm, unless we made it mobile via the accumulator. But then we suffer the problem of, if that's there, what if they're both blue? This is getting me through, I blue. But then that's essentially useless. Those have permanent connections. Because I feel like I need to make like a swap while I'm over here. Simply speaking, how can you make this work? We need blue and red. I think right now the goal is to somehow get both of these objects over here. I need to try something. I don't like that because this is gonna cause... What are we thinking here? Well, if the solution is in front of me, I do not see it yet. I feel like this would be better as red. In order to make that happen, we have to do this. There's going to be some sort of swapping thing that we're doing that I simply don't see yet. We are at the same conundrum as before. Let's just leave this as it is. What happens if we interrupt this? That changes things. That completely takes over the whole thing. So with that being said, how does that help me? We still don't have blue. I'm starting to think I actually want to have this be blue. Uh-huh. Ah, this is tricky. Now I may have screwed the pooch. Let's reset this. Oh. What is this one called? Breach. Breach certainly has me a little bit stuck, but we're working through it. We are working through it. There's really... How do I get blue again? Right. We overtake the circuit via this way. This is going to involve some like pretty tricky thinking here. I don't think there is. I don't think there is. No. Nope. I'm working through it. No worries. I thought you went to sleep. We got this out. How does this help me? We need blue here. There's no other saucy angles. Nothing special about that. Yeah, we're gonna have to change up the thinking here. And ask ourselves, what does this assist us with? I can't think of another way to get red throughout this. What does that actually do for me? I don't know. It actually does work. Okay, this is the first time I've gotten the door open. But now I need to figure out a way to power this guy. Of course, if I pick this up... Well... No, hold on. No, that also wouldn't work. Because I am the source. I am the source. Okay, we're making progress. That's why we need red, huh? What's this situation? Hold on. I got a lot of crazy shit going on right now. Not yet. Thanks, but no thanks. I just want to keep working through this. I'm sure you know how to solve it. And I'm happy for you. Fuck. Doing this. Doesn't fucking help me. Wait a second. What if I didn't use that? Hold up. Might need fresh brains soon. Certainly struggling to think. Just need to figure out a way to get this fucking thing through, just to move. I mean, obviously I can do this, but that doesn't help me right now. How can I get red back there? Something I am not thinking of. Something I am not utilizing. I might have to break this down systematically. I mean. Systemically. These have preset connections to this and to that. So when I change it to red, that does nothing. We need something connected to this and this. Feels like I need both in here. I don't know if that's possible, to be honest. Well, I think it's possible. I just don't think it really makes sense. If I wanted to turn it back into red, how can I achieve this? I'm not sure if it's even possible. I don't think I can see. No, there's no angle stuff here. There's an order of operations that I need to understand here better. If I send red through, this is a good one. It doesn't help me, man. I can't get through like this. It's crazy. There's only 2 things, so there's just there's an order here. The furthest I've gotten was this way. Yep, I don't know right now. I know I'm not looking for ideas. So I'm going to move on to the harder puzzle. Another fucking terminal. Good. This is your 10 audio log. I do not want to read. Feeling the anger setting on, so need to move on.
Is that even in
Fuck
death,
off, Alcatraz.
she fought to see the world as it is, not as she wanted to see it. I say fought because I believe this is not an easy matter. It is a mental and spiritual struggle that we must undertake with great seriousness, even when we are joking. The ancients believed that for most of us, the world is a shadow cast by a flame, dimly seen on the wall of a cave. Our task is not to interpret these shapes, but to free ourselves from the cave itself.
Transference? 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 What is... Can you put stuff through that, I wonder? You have a driller? Teleport pad, right? Yeah, oh man. This is gonna be fun. Oh, I wonder... Does this mean we can teleport through that, or are they just showing us? Gosh. I wonder. I want to test that. It's weird. But we do have... I'm very curious if I can teleport through that. So let's see if that is the first thing to try. You cannot. So I wonder what the relevance of these kind of clear windows are. If it's just there to show you the rest of the puzzle, maybe? Or maybe there's a bigger reason. You can't drill that here, right? No, nothing special. And the other question is can... Let's try one more theory. You can't send anything through that? No. But you could. What's our first goal? What is our first goal? Probably to get to the other side. So let's just do that. That opens that. So we're gonna need that guy to move. Also shortish fence. Relevance unsure right now. Where was red? Red's over there. What is this power? That door. So what if we had a pre-connection like this? Send this back through teleport. I'm not gonna need the teleporter yet. I might just need to do this until I get it in a place where I want it, sitting on that pad, perhaps. Is it moving? Yeah, I guess this is just our way of saying it, so maybe we know when to stop the driller. Let's do that. Let's do this. I don't think we're going to need this anymore. I mean, is that it? Nah, there's got to be another instance to this. Something I'm not seeing. Ah. Yeah. You need to bring the driller through. Fence. Ah. No, not a big deal. Ladder. Well, that's not exactly it either. Oh, wait, it is. We're totally good. Jesus Christ. I'm making this overcomplicated when it doesn't need to be. We're done. So I can solve 8, but I can't solve 7. You gotta love that. This is a good puzzle, though.
Extremely convoluted.
It didn't seem that bad. We do have lost puzzles. That's Golden Gate up there. This one has me stumped. Breach is a very good puzzle. Is that a Sphinx puzzle? Yeah, it totally is. Which I haven't found the hint yet, so no point in trying it. I guess let's try for some lost puzzles. Shit. Oh, Stratton, what's up? There you are. Whoa.
It is easy to speak of one's principles when the world is at peace, and there is no price to pay for thoughts that stray from what is permitted.
Satellite dish.
But when times grow hard, and even ordinary men are filled with mindless anger, when the face of the enemy is suddenly known to every virtuous citizen, and to question the virtuous is to be likened to Ephialtes, when every hoary old superstition suddenly springs back to life as if it had never been defeated, and all the work of the philosophers seems to have been for naught, then one may discover what one truly believes.
Okay, this is either a satellite or some sort of... Yeah, I think it's just a big satellite. Let's see. Well, first let's read... fuck it, we'll read the satellite dish. Part of an ancient communications network. A shattered section of a device used by the ancients to communicate over vast distances. At the height of ancient human civilization, most of the human species was part of a single network. Places of longing, Athens. Wow, I like that a lot. To understand what humanity is capable of, what it means to flourish, we have to look at the golden age of Athenian democracy. The list of geniuses who lived in Athens at this time is so long it's almost inconceivable. I'm honestly not even going to try to read these names. And the list goes on. Please, read it yourself. It's right there. I'm going to avoid the embarrassment. These are people who changed world history. Without them, there is no Stratton of Segera to inspire Alexander Drennan. Without them, we do not exist. Was it a perfect time? No, undoubtedly not. But listing the flaws obscures the greater truth. Given the opportunity, given freedom, and resources and space to grow, human beings are capable of incredible things. It would mean everything to me to walk the roads where these people once walked. To stand where they stood and think about the world as they dared to. I like that. Pretty inspirational. Whoa, whoa. Box lady. I'm going to give Breach a break until the end of the episode after I've found the stars and the 2 lost puzzles. Try to fresh brain that. if I can. I mean, I'm a bit stumped. And if I'm still stumped by then, Al, if you're still awake, I will, of course, ask for help. But never on the first wave. I want to struggle. All of these things can't come easy. So, let me struggle. This is a lost puzzle. Wow. Vertical locomotion. Yeah. Huh. One connector, one pressure plate, one floating pad. Still don't have a name for that. So, mobile floating pad. Blue to what? Well, blue to blue. Perhaps that's it. Let's just... Oh, wow. You can't grab these, can you? No. So we're going to need to get the connector up here. However, let's think about the logic. What does this do? It opens that door. If I put this here, go down and grab that, the fan turns off. So maybe I don't want to put it there. Maybe I want to put it here. Go down, grab that, teleport back up, set it down, teleport through. Maybe? Maybe that's just too simple of thought. Oh. Does it have another path? It does. Huh. Okay. Take teleporter. Now we will stand on this pad, teleport through, put this here, we're done. That is a good puzzle. You gotta love how some of them come easy to you and other ones you just...
The founder has a remarkable gift for designing these trials.
Probably run out
But
with,
then she
with
did
an
have
item.
to overcome Elohim,
Teleport
whose
pad
very
outside.
purpose was to design trials.
Did we interrupt Hermanibus? But this is Talos 1. Beep boop, beep beep, beep boop, beep boop. Ah, I don't miss that. Kind of annoyed me back then. Okay, we're running for... We're running to the question marks. I have another star to get, and at least I know over there is the puzzle pad, the puzzle arena, the buttons to push. Yo! It's a puzzle I've done, yeah? Yeah, lost puzzles are kind of broken on the ground. Let's go across. It seems like they're gonna put something somewhere over here, maybe. Is this an item or just another object? Oh, it is. A machine used for extracting petroleum. Oil pump. Our ancestors used machines of this type to extract a substance called petroleum, which had countless industrial applications. Technologies involving petroleum revolutionized human society and greatly increased human quality of life, but also came with initially discounted side effects such as the release of greenhouse gases. Ruh-roh. I think I saw something like this when I first entered and thought it was a part of the... Oh, I keep wanting to say biome. Part of the level, so I may have just completely skipped over it. without even thinking twice. Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm taking the outskirts route. This might be another lost puzzle. Yep, it is. Jailbreak. Wow, these are fun. Oh, wow. Involved. Long distances. Does Breach not have... Oh, no, it does. It does. Yeah, it does. Huh. That's interesting. So I might have to relay this. Maybe. And so the goal is to move this guy along all the way through until it gets to here, which we can then jump on it. Okay, so the idea seems simple. I did not say it was easy. However, it seems important to maybe put one on. And maybe I don't need a relay. That seems like a waste. So why don't we try doing some pre-connections to blues? Are there any other blues? Let's keep connections, but turn... What is the extra connection I have? That one. Okay, so... Let's see how it behaves as on the initial wave. We lose blue, we get it back. It hits here and now it's stuck. Is that a problem? Maybe, because if it comes off of this closes, so I might need to put something there. So we have our first issue. It might not be a total issue though. We're done down here. From my understanding, we don't really need this section anymore. We'll see about that. Oh, we can allow ourselves in. I worry that if it loses that pad, it's going to be trapped in there. And if I am the one in there, I'm trapped in there. So we want to avoid that situation as well. So it seems like I'm going to have to give up. Unless if I give it up, what opens this one? I could technically stand here until it gets through. We do have... I guess let's try sacrificing... No, just... I do not want to select you. I'd like to just leave you. Fine. Fine, I'll connect you if that's really what you want. Just tell me what you want. Okay, next problem. Okay, that's considered on the inside, right? That's interesting. We do have a connection to that. What if we use that? You aren't moving anymore because you lost the connection. Do we have a connection through? No. Bastard. Huh. No, not quite. I think we're gonna have a crisscross conundrum. I think that's the bulk of our work there. Oh. Wait. Shit. If you were still connected, you're the key. So maybe I was supposed to leave that behind. I don't know, I always felt weird about that. Oh. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. You need to connect to that. Now. Oh, that's right. That's why I had that connection. You silly goose. Ah! Okay. Now we should be good. And that should be enough. Yay. Okay, that was a little tricky, but really good puzzle. I definitely think that's how they intended it. It seems a little messy, but I don't know. I wonder if there's a cleaner way to do that. I'm really interested to see Akinar's video of West 1 and see how he does it, if it's the same. Yeah, that's... Well, hey, it's done. Both lost puzzles are complete. There's just Breach. We have another terminal. Let it be Trevor. Trevor 10 against Decay. From selective archive documents A through C, we live in a decaying system which in turn produces ideologies of decay to justify its existence. No matter what cultural signifiers they get packaged with, these ideologies come down to the same material result, a future in which for the average person there is less of everything. To paraphrase Mark Fisher, we find it easier to imagine the decline of civilization than to imagine a civilization worth living in. Those of us who still believe that humanity can thrive, that there is a path forward other than willful or accidental decay, are out of sync with the system. No matter how we phrase our arguments, they will be perceived in terms of whatever cultural signifiers the listener opposes. It's a deeply frustrating, depressing, even infuriating situation. But what can we do except patiently explain and hope conditions change? In other words, what can we do except have faith? Athena wrote. This was written only a few months before the discovery of the virus. There was no time for conditions to change. Also, this was from Unknown. Location, Rintra, External 1. Hypatia Journal 11 from Hypatia Journals. Who is Hypatia, by the way? Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem, Day 882. Excuse me. It's been a while since I last wrote an entry in my journal. Much has changed in day in New Jerusalem. We put up a good chunk of the planned living quarters, and the old storage facility has been converted into a movie theater, of all things. So we still argue a lot, but now it's mostly about which film we'll be watching next. Other construction efforts are going well too, although we've begun to run out of readily accessible resources. Our scavenging expeditions are ranging further and further afield with each passing month, and the sites that they have reported on sound truly marvelous. One day I might want to go see this for myself. It's a good thing in that regard that we'll be getting 2 new citizens soon. It's a good thing in that regard that we'll getting 2 new citizens soon. See, that just doesn't make grammatical sense, I don't think. Unless I'm just losing it. Because everyone is as busy as ever. More hands to help us build our future. I can't wait to meet them. New Jerusalem. Let's hear Trevor 10.
How is this supposed to work? The system is meant to last centuries. Centuries! And yeah, Chernyshevsky's plan, brilliant.
Chernyshevsky.
Absolutely brilliant. But I'm working with hardware that was deliberately designed to fail. Planned obsolescence, baby. Selling broken garbage just to make another buck. A buck you can't even spend because in a few more weeks, we'll be extinct. Was it worth it? That's the part that Alexandra doesn't see. The greed, the stupidity, the selfishness, the way that we created this whole situation in the first place. She wants you to be like us, but if you ask me, there's a whole lot of human history and behavior you can just throw away, chuck it in the trash, right? You have a chance at a fresh start. Make the best of it.
Make the best of it. We need 1, 2, and then a 3. No, we need a 1, 2, and then a 3. So wait, it's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 1, 2, 3. I think that is our starting section. That would make that 1, 2, 3 up top, and then a double. Yep. So we need this guy, and I already forgot 1. Cool. Nice. All right. That's everything except for puzzle number 7, Breach. Will Fresh Brain be OP? I really don't have the confidence.
Of war, is it wisdom or folly to give a sword to a child?
I want to make sure I read this. I may have skipped it out of anger. No, it was listed here. Out of anger. It's frustrating when you can't solve something. Okay, let's give this another try. Breach. We know how to start. We know how to get the accumulator. There's really not much to this in terms of equipment, right? We obviously need to push this through. And that is the hard part. We need blue to even enter here. I don't want to get caught in the thinking that I need everything through here. We know that red automatically has a connection here, but it doesn't have one here. We also need blue to go through. That's where things can get a little tricky. You know, if we had that just being red, that'd be nice. Which could potentially occur. How am I trying to set this up? Where red is here and here. We're gonna have to do some funky stuff with this accumulator where we're swapping what emitter is being used. And I'm trying to work through that logic right now. But it's tricky. It is tricky. Let's just take what the game gives me and start with blue. I don't know why I'm constantly connecting to that fucking thing. We'll start with blue, and let's get rid of you from the equation. This is simplistic in design. However, we do fail to get a red connection. That's partially why I don't like this. However, what if we did stay like this? We charge this to red. I really do think that this one has to be red. Why aren't you blue anymore? Well, you aren't going to work that way. It has to be here if we're going to do this method. We need to connect this. I've been here before. This isn't anything new or groundbreaking. But cool, you can make it move. How does that help you? Well, it doesn't really. This is actually the only way to make this work, unless you figured out a way to use that. But to get red is tricky out of that spot. It changes the whole complexion of this puzzle. It's so damn tricky. For me, of course. There's also a line of sight there, but I don't know if that's relevant, but it's something to think about. I want red to be my end goal, but I don't think I want it to be the goal right away. Like, fuck, man. This one really has me stumped. I felt very good about this area up until this. But I'm certainly thinking of something incorrectly. Doesn't really help me. Does it? No. Ah, what are we missing? What are we missing? Ah. Doesn't do me any good, man. We need to get you to move. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this idea. I mean, yes, it opens up the door, but I can't go anywhere with this. I feel stuck. I feel paralyzed. I feel like this is not doing a job that it should be doing. You're just sitting here. Why are you just sitting here, you rat fucking bastard? Tell me why. Like, what are we achieving? I genuinely don't know. Some tricky shit. That is for show. For show. What if I instead was here and then I sat on this myself? That should push it through, right? Oh my god, we've made something happen. Wow. I didn't involve myself in the matter. That should get us to the end. Now I just need to think back the logic of how I even got here to begin with. I think I want red again. Maybe. I don't even. The hard part's over. I'm gonna have to review what I did. I see what I did in the moment, but it's hard for me, like I said, to think of what I did. Down. Okay, this shouldn't be the hard part, but now I'm just like not knowing how the fuck to get back. Blue and red with the connector there. Actually, I think I want this blue. Right? And then I want you here. Yeah, that should allow me through. Good God almighty. Yeah, no, this was a hard one. This was definitely the hardest one for me in this level. I'm going to watch back what I did. Like I said, I don't think I can. It's one of those where I can't explain it. I mean, I'm sure if you watched it, you probably already know the answer. So you're like, damn, dude. But I kind of understood what I did as I did it, but I can't like replicate the thinking like I did for most of these puzzles. But it definitely involved a weird. I forgot to kind of use myself and think about, you know, have pre-connections. It'll swap the connections as I stand. It'll push it through. It's a really good puzzle. Really good puzzle. I think that is everything for West 1 in the Western Delta. And even still, I struggled, but this was probably one of my more faster episodes, gathering everything that I can. So let's just double check that. So again, I'm very negative in my own head about how these things go, but in reality, it went actually pretty well. I'm bound to get stumped, you know what I mean? But still got all the stars. We're not done, actually. We need to enter the tower. Right, that's a key aspect to these things. I need to do that. But that shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. So let's knock that out. Here it is. You know, I didn't do the dialogue either. Yeah, let's talk to Herman.
What can I do for you, 1K?
Who's running the city while you're gone?
My chief aide, Jeremy, is
Ah,
in
that
charge
guy.
for now. It's good practice for him, in case he decides to run for office one day.
Yeah, could the theory of everything be used safely?
Let's assume for a moment that we could use it safely, which I doubt. Does that mean that we should? Is it right for us to dominate the world? We value our own freedom. Should we not also value the freedom of all the living things with which we share this planet?
About the founder.
Not now. Let's have this conversation at another time. You still have a lot to do. Better get to it.
Well, fuck you, man. I didn't really want to talk to you anyway. I just felt like doing the dialogue. But you know what? That was a mistake. It was a mistake. These are a lot of pieces. God damn. Well, I like when they're kind of fitted this way because it's like you only really have a certain amount of choices. Oops. There we go. And now this is where things get a little tricky. Tricky Ricky. I'm taking the probably two obvious choices that are probably not going to work. Yeah, I think I messed up putting down that. Why don't we come back here and think a bit more about what the fuck we're actually doing. There we go. We have arrived. Cool little statue staring at us. Okay, you know, this looks a lot cooler when you're here, I'll be honest. How about it? We are entering the tower, utilizing the new patch that I can run backwards. Looking backwards, that is. Who do we got? Sphinx.
This is the last time we will speak, creature of clay. Together, we have told the stories of ancient gods and heroes. But the golden ages of the past are distant. The gods have retreated to their high places, and there are no heroes amongst men. In days gone by, I was renowned for my riddles. But you, creature of clay, are a riddle without an answer.
I have an answer, you just can't see it.
What cannot be seen may be an illusion, or it may be truth. I cannot tell. Farewell, creature of clay. Remember my stories, and do not let the flame burn you.
Adios, amigo. Red. Western Delta. Activate the tower in the Western Delta.
Amount of energy. I would hate to see what would happen if one of those beams was aimed at something else.
Yeah, I'm really not crazy about the mayor being here, to be honest. Just, I don't know. Kind of soils the party, in my opinion. Always gotta bring, I don't know, it's like having authority over you when you're just trying to chill solve puzzles. That's my opinion. You might like the mayor. I don't. Nah, it's not that big of a deal. He's a decent guy. It's his, the way he talks. Anyway, let's go back to the tram and get on out of here. I think that went pretty well overall. Definitely got stuck a little bit. This was the object I saw and I went past, so it is not Okay. Entering the capsule, we'll head to the next area. Here's some dialogue. And call it there. West 2, the Anthropic Hills. This rocky highland terrain has been dramatically sculpted by the technology contained in the megastructure.
The next area you're going to is... Honestly, it's better if you see for yourself.
Okay. I'm curious to see what all the hype is about then. Anthropic Hills. What's that mean? I can't wait. The suspense is just... Holy fuck. Yeah, no, this is insane. Wow. Holy shit. Wow, 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 wow. They weren't kidding. Well, episode 13 is going to be a good time. That's going to wrap up episode 12. Yeah, I said those numbers right, I'm pretty sure. This is episode 12. Episode 13 is going to be a good one. This looks absolutely insanity. So this might be their most impressive level just from what I've seen. Wow. There's even that. Anyway, holy crap. I can't wait to explore this, solve puzzles, and just see what this place has to uncover for me. What can I discover in this massive level? I love it. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. And until next time, peace.